Hi, and welcome to the Never Cast Off podcast. My name is Debbie. I'm known as Deb's Destiny on Ravelry and Instagram, and this is Rusty. So he's going to be joining us for the podcast. You'll see his head bobbing up and down, and he might leave. Anyways, so welcome. I am so glad that you're watching the episode, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy doing this for you. So today's episode is going to be all about merinos. So I'm doing a breed study, and it's a study for me, not that I'm an expert, because I'm not, I'm learning. And I wanted to do this as though it's opening a dialogue to talk about the different breeds. So if there's something not 100% accurate, please let me know. And if you want to add something, please feel free to do so. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Merino is known as the royal family of wool. I think Rusty, if he was going to be a sheep, he would want to be merino wool. I don't know. What do you think, Rusty? You think? Yeah. Okay. So, in the 13th, between the 12th and 13th century, what ended up happening is the royal family in Spain ended up doing some trade with Morocco, and they ended up getting a couple rams that were Beni Merines, and thus the name Merino. And they mixed it with the lambs that they had over there, and that's where they ended up coming up with Merino, the breed. And what ended up happening is it's part of the Berber family. So there is a Berber sheep, which we're not really talking about today, but back in 1990, yeah, I'm old. I ended up going and visiting Morocco. Beautiful country. And one of the places that we stopped, there was some people in the group that I was with that wanted to buy some Berber sheep, some woven blankets. And the only way that they would give a discount is if every person in the group bought a Berber blanket. I'm like, I don't want one. Oh my gosh, am I so glad right now that they ended up talking me into it. It's very, very nice. And here it is. So this is from Berber sheep. And I'd show you a little bit more. There is a little bit of red and green. But Rusty, oh. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. So that is my Berber blanket. So it's Berber, and I think they said there was camel in it. So that's my Berber blanket. And so that's part of what merinos are from. So then what happens is the Spaniards over a few centuries ended up getting it so that they realized, wait, we got something really special here with our merino sheep. So they ended up outlawing the export of any of their sheep because they thought it was so special, and indeed it was. The penalty, death. Really? Come on. But yeah, no, that was the Middle Ages. They did things different. And then after a few centuries went by, the royals ended up saying, you know, I think my family might want some. And how about giving it away to my buddy over here? And so when they intermarried, they would send a few sheep here and there. And that's how they ended up spreading throughout Europe. And then 1793, they finally started exporting to the Americas. So that's a little history. I hope you guys don't mind too much. Anyways, moving right along. Merino is part of the fine category of wool. Some of it goes slightly into medium, but most of it is still fine. The micron count goes from 11.5 to about 26. So 11.5 is very, very, very fine wool. Most common prepared merino is between 20 and 25 microns. Now, my husband ended up going with me to pick up a Rambouillet fleece, and it is part of the merino family, but we'll get into that part later. They ended up showing me, or giving me, a sample of a merino. Now, I don't know if, so this is a sample. It's about 3 inches or so. I think my finger's about 3 inches, I don't know. So the micron, the reason why the finer packed hair follicles is important is, well, before I tell you why, let me tell you about the count on them. They're generally between 57 and 72 hair follicles per square millimeter. Just to give you a comparison as to why that is cool, is Suffolk is about 20 per millimeter and Cheviot is at 15. So when you have the hair follicles that are so fine and so close together, as you can see, there's not a lot of dirt in there. There's not a lot of space for the dirt to get in, to get down in and deep into that. So that's that's the main reason why it's so cool to have so many hair follicles. Now, usually the where did that go? The tips are a little bit weathered. They're dense. They're very crimpy. And they generally end up being between 3 and 5 inches, and this one's about 3 inches. They're also known to be elastic and resilient. If you want something that is a durable item, pick a different breed. This one is in the fine category, so like with everything else that's fine, it's not going to well really well. And there are dozens of different types of merino in the merino family worldwide. And it's very easy to spin from the lock. If this was washed, it would be very easy to just go ahead and pull this and then just spin it. I like to spin from the lock. I clean it first. There are some that don't mind spinning it in the grease where it's all dirty and you have to dodge tags. I don't like dodging tags, so I clean mine first. I don't want dirt and all that going on my wheel. That's just me. Everybody does things differently, so there's no judgment coming from me if you don't do it that way. But I also do have some top that I enjoy spinning every once in a while too. So the fleece weight is generally between 6.5 and 40 pounds, and most are between 9 and 14 pounds. The yield in regards to the grease, it's 35 to 80%, and most of them, if you're buying some merino, just plan on about 50. So you lose about half in regards to cleaning it with the grease going away, and so you lose about half the weight. Merino wants to be spun fine. So I ended up, okay, when I started this, I had a different yarn and I thought it was merino. And when I was recording the last one, I realized it's not merino. And I'm like, oh man. So I actually stopped and I spun some and knitted up a sample so I'd be able to talk to you guys about it a little bit more intelligently. So I am still spinning a little bit thick. I'm not really a thin spinner. So for me, this is thinner than I generally do, but this is probably ballpark like a worsted or something like that. Maybe heavy worsted, depending on it. But that's that's just where I am. So if you want to have thick merino, just be aware it does pill easy. And the way to do that would be to have many thinly spun strands and ply them together. So ply, you know, a few strands together to get it thicker to whatever you're looking for. Now, some of the different types of merino: Debele, Barula, Pepin, Fontil, Pole, Rambouillet, South Austrian, D-Lane, and there are three that are exceptionally fine: Saxon, Tasmanian, and the ultra finest merino is Charlia. So if you want something extra fine, that's going to be a good one. When I was spinning this up, I liked how easy it was to pull apart. I found it to be very, very elastic, just stretchy, but then it bounces right back into shape. So that I really like that. You can easily see the stitches on it. And I did the two side, you know, 2 stitches on the side so it wouldn't roll so easy. But I really, and it was a nice spin. I bought, before Christmas, I ended up buying a few different types of wool, and I ended up realizing that a lot of them stem from merino. So if, let's see, so Tarhi comes from Rambouillet, which is a merino, Corriedale, and Lincoln. So if you look up Corriedale comes from merino, Romney, and Lincoln. And then if you look up Polypay, they ended up mixing Tarhi, Dorset, Rambouillet, and Finn. It's really interesting how they started off with just merino, and then they took one and they mixed it with this other one over here, and then they took this one and mixed it with the one over here, and then they all became breeds, and then they mixed these two together, but they're still based in merino. And it's just interesting how many of the soft wools end up coming from or stemming from or having part merino. I just found that fascinating. So when I was my breed sheet, smooth, very, very smooth, very soft, strong, sort of. Twist needed, I put medium. Easy to spin consistently, I found it was. I was using top. Oh, I think it's top. Yeah, it's top. They're all going in the same direction. I'm not sure if it's showing up the same way it's looking for me. But I found this very easy to spin. I ended up getting this from dyedinthewool.biz, and they're a great company. Benita and Sandy really do a good job with the items that they sell. Top quality, highly suggest them. Easy to spin consistency, yes. Would I spin it again? Yes. I liked how bouncy it was, and it was just a good spin. What did I like the least? There was a few nubs, and it seems like it would be easy to pill, but I think that's normal for merino. Knitting, very soft, love to knit with it. Good stitch definition. My final assessment is good. Shawls, cowls, scarves, next to the skin soft. This one right here is a mix of merino and silk. So the silk ended up giving it some stability. So, and the stitch definition on that. Just can see how easy it just shows the stitches. Then this one here is merino, and this one I held 3 strands together, so it's pink, black, and gray. So this is another one. You can wear it regular. You can just go like that. A lot of times yarn distributors will also mix it with nylon, so you'll have some sock yarn that is 75% merino and 25% nylon or something like that to give it a little bit, you know, stretch. And well, and the merino's got a lot of stretch to it. So, but I ended up using this one as a scarf. So that's it for the merino study. But I would like to remind you guys that last week, in case you didn't see it, Sheila is giving away 2 bags, and there's directions in the podcast how to go ahead and enter to win the 2 bags that she has. So definitely double check to see how to win those amazing bags. And if you haven't had a chance to look her up on her Etsy shop, it's Thank God for Bags, and she really does a good job on her bags. Her bags really are very well made, and if you haven't gotten one yet, you can go over there and just let her know I sent you over there. She watches everything I put up, so you know I'm doing it. So and so the next podcast that I do joint with Sheila, and we don't quite have that schedule as to when we're going to do that, but when we do that, that's when we're going to be pulling the winner for those 2 bags. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy what you're doing, and remember, knit on.